Hello you beautiful people. So in this stream I was becoming more comfortable with photo mode, which allowed me to focus on capturing the shots. For this video I chose pictures which would demonstrate that by composing your shots around the subject and including interesting lighting as a feature, you can take photos in dark settings. So without further ado, let's watch the clips. Just loving that angle with... Oh, you did that to me, did you? Oh, okay. So we're going to have to be playing it this way. Because I really like how Joel is. Oh, this doesn't seem to be working at all. Oh. Oh, it's going to be one of those streams. I am so terribly sorry, people. So I want a really narrow depth of field, and it is just Joel that I want. But I can't roll it, so that really limits everything. Let's have a look at that. So we've got him, and it's square that hides menu. So he's nicely in focus. Got a good bit of light there. It's going to be a very difficult crop. So he's going to be on the right of the frame. So I've got a good bit of space of it, and he's looking to the left. So having him on the right gives him space to look into. There's some leading lines pointing down to his head as well, so that works. He's pretty much the brightest subject in this picture. So I'm just going to grab that photo. I cropped in on Joel, placing the top right intersection just above his shoulders. I took out all of the colours so I could focus on the light balance. I softened the contrast by reducing the highlights and raising the shadows by equal amounts before adjusting the white and blacks and exposure to bring out the details. I then brought back the colour until they stood out while still retaining the monochrome look. A slight readjustment of lighting to ensure the details are all there before softening the picture with clarity and adding some film grain and a bit of fade before finishing off with vignette to really draw the eye into the picture. So you've got things like this you can do. If the zoom wasn't so extreme, hang on. That's a massive crop in, so let's just zoom out there. If I could, I would drop down to make that a good picture. But that's not going to be one. So things that I'm looking at right now, because what I'd initially hoped from the other angle is to drop down slightly and the tiles make a really interesting texture as a background. So they work as negative space, but in an interesting way. So that's what my initial thought was. Now, when I adjust the field of view, I'm expecting it to be a rather sad looking expression in the soldier's eyes. Both of them are framed by the back of I'm going to assume that's a dryer, looking at the vents at the back. So let's just adjust the depth of view. And there's not that much of Joel in the picture, so I don't need to worry about having him in there. So what I'm going to do is my usual 90-degree roll, which conveniently gets more of the floor into there. So as you can see, you've got more of the tiles. I mean, my picture's in the way, so I apologise. But you've got more of the tiles in there, which are kind of a gritty looking texture. You've got more of the soldier's body into it, so it's a little bit more cohesive as a picture. Ideally, I would like to mess this picture up, by the way. Ideally, I would have liked to have them on the right of the screen. But this works being that it's a quite a tense moment because Joel's killing the guy. So having them on the left-hand side increases the feeling of uneasiness in the viewer. So that's what I'm going for. I'm just going to adjust the depth of view a little bit. And all I was looking at is the eye in the mask, the veins on Joel's arms, the hand above the man's, holding the gun. So Joel's hand is going slightly out of the blur, out of focus, and Joel's head is as well. But then the secondary parts in the story of what's going on. So that's my picture. A quick rotate and crop to device set the aspect ratio for Instagram. Then I placed the soldier's eye on the top left intersection to balance the shot. I did the usual highlight and shadow balance before adjusting the white and blacks. Once I was happy with these, I was able to set the exposure properly. I then brought the colour back and applied the vignette. A little more exposure and rebalancing the whites completed the edit. Let that reset. Turn the grid on. So things I'm contemplating, because I like the steps, I like the lights, playing on his shoulder, playing on the rocks behind. I like the transfer to orange as well. Do I need that escalator? Don't know. So let's roll this, see how much I've got to play with, and we'll work it from there. Why are you not focusing the way I want you to? Oh, so down. Yeah, looks like what I was thinking would only work in portrait. I mean in landscape. So, to zoom out a bit more. I can't place him on any of the key markers. So I'm going to try and... That's too far out. So let's zoom in a bit. Because really I wanted a bit of an angle on there, which is when the zooming out works a bit more. So I don't think this is going to work. I'm going to remove these and look at it. So I know that I'm not going to get the transfer to orange in. So we're going to change, look around a little bit. Because quite often in photography, that's what you need to do, is you can see something that grabs your attention and you could get a good photo. But by changing your angle slightly, you can get a great photo. Now, I'm not going to be able to move past this point, I don't think. But what I've found, so you've got the texture of the rock, you've got the texture of the steps, you've got the broken roof. So where the beam of light is coming in, you've got the broken roof there, and you've got a fairly blank concrete wall behind that. And that, combined with the angle of Joel, who is almost center, so that probably needs, if it allowed me to, oh, that's why, probably needs raising up a little bit. It seems to be insistent on the main point of interest being his backside. So that's probably the best I can do. So it's aiming at his kidney, but it still draws your eye to that point. The light shining on him also works. So I'm going to grab that picture. Rotating the image and cropping to devise meant I couldn't keep the steps in the shot, but Joel's placement on the bottom right intersection was the priority. Dropping the colour and flattening the contrast allowed me to focus on bringing out the details. I then brightened the picture, reintroduced some colour and added some vignette to get the look I was going for. I want to thank Coffee Lover Joel for not only checking me out and keeping me company throughout the stream, but also for saving it and this video by telling me I had left the mute on early on in the stream. So thank you for watching this through to the end. It really helps me get these videos out to people who might find them useful. Like and subscribe if you want to see more or just hang out in my streams. For those who don't want to hit the bell icon for notifications, I stream at 8 PM Greenwich Mean Time every Friday. I hope you all have a great week and remember, we say goodbye so we can say hello again. Goodbye.